Hi, my name's Corrine Smith, and I am here to tell you about my testimony and my story. When I was in my 20s, my early 20s, I lived in California. I had a really great job. I worked in a biotech company, and things seemed to be absolutely wonderful. I knew God. I had a relationship with religion, and I knew God, but my choices didn't glorify God. Through a series of events and hurts, I began to believe lies. That's how the enemy operates. He always will back up the lie with an experience to get you to believe the lie so that you can give your power over to the enemy. And that's what I did. And when I was 24, I found myself pregnant. I never wanted to be a mom. That wasn't in my forecast. Never felt any kind of motherly inclining or inkling whatsoever. But during that experience, I was really kind of traumatized. I was traumatized, and I grew up in a Christian home. So I knew what was right and I knew what was wrong, but I was numb. And in that numbness, my closest relationships, they led me to an abortion clinic. And as I was going, I knew in my heart, okay, this isn't right, this isn't what I want, but I was numb. I'm like, okay, Corey, you are gonna deal with this later. Right now, just do what you have to fix it. I ended up in an abortion clinic, and I went in there. I had my mind made up. Okay, the first appointment they give me, I'm gonna take it because I don't wanna think about what I'm ready to do. So I have an ultrasound because it was law. They had to give you an ultrasound. And I looked at the screen and I saw my daughter's heartbeat. And in that moment, I had an outer body experience. It was like something overcame me and everything inside of me was screaming, take it, take it, take it. They could get me in 2 hours. And it was like I left my body and I looked down at myself, and the words that came out of my mouth were, I'll take the appointment in 2 weeks. My body was screaming, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And I left, and I was just trying to figure out, okay, what are my next steps? What the heck did I just do? Now I have time to think about it. During the next 2 weeks, God brought everybody across my path to beg me not to go through it. And I couldn't go back. I couldn't go back. The minute I left that abortion clinic, there was no going back for me. And during the next 9 months, I really leaned into my relationship with Jesus Christ. God was committed to me, and he was there for me, and he showed me how much he loved me. He spoke to me, he gave me revelation, and he fortified me. By the time my daughter was born on December 30th, 2002, it was clear that there was an attack against her life. I went into labor, and her heartbeat would drop down to about 40 beats. And it's supposed to be 140 to 160 is healthy. And every time I had a contraction, the whole entire staff would come running through the doors. They ended up having to put a monitor in her to track her heartbeat and to make sure she was okay. So one thing led to another, and after 2 hours of full-on pushing, I had to have an emergency C-section. And then from there, things went sideways. She was healthy, but I literally almost lost my life in these moments. I literally thought I was gonna die. And I begged my now husband, I begged him to not leave me because I didn't think I was gonna make it. And I look back and I'm so thankful because in the middle of the night, when I was fighting for my life, I looked over and my husband was holding this beautiful little baby that God had given me. While I told you earlier, I didn't think I ever wanted to be a mom, the day my daughter was born, something was birthed into me, and it was my greatest calling and my greatest destiny to be a mom. When you put God first, you're never last. He raises you up to be blessed and to be a blessing. From that moment to this moment, my daughters are now 20 and almost 22. There's complete restoration in every single area of my life. God never disappoints you. He never leaves you behind. My daughter is now 22 years old. There was an attack on her life from birth. The enemy wanted to take her out. He wanted me to believe the lie and continue down the slope of destruction. So I have a heart and I have a passion for women who end up in the situation that I was in, believing lies, opening the door to something and then feeling like they've lost all control. God loves you. He loves you. and He has victory for you. Through the Pittsburgh Baby Shower, I want to be a blessing. I want to share my story. I want to come alongside of you. I want to help you get connected into a strong church, a church that loves you, that will tell you who you are, how God sees you, and will take you by the hand and lead you and be alongside of you. You're not alone. You're loved.